This bus driver training video covers part 2 of a 3-part video series based on our school bus emergency plan. The 3 parts include Part 1, Basic Emergency Protocols, Part 2, Hazards, and Part 3, Threats and Violence. This Part 2 training corresponds with the second section of our bus emergency plan. It will focus on several different hazards that a school bus driver may be faced with, such as mechanical trouble, fire, weather hazards, power lines, earthquake and tsunami, and crash accidents and animals. It applies to regular school bus routes as well as student activity trips. Use the information in this training to help you assess the emergency situation you are dealing with and determine the courses of action that will best address the threat or hazard you are facing. As always, bus drivers are empowered to deviate from the roles described in this training, including the order of these actions, whenever doing so is likely to reduce the risk of serious injury or death. Let's start by talking about mechanical troubles. There are many types and degrees of mechanical troubles that can affect decisions about the safest courses of action for you and your passengers. As you assess the situation, determine your location, the condition of the bus, and if students are safer on or off the bus. If your bus has mechanical troubles, follow these procedures. Stop the bus in a safe location. Secure the bus. Shut off the motor, set the brake, and remove the keys. Activate four-way flashers if required. Call bus dispatch or 911. Make the decision to evacuate or keep the students on the bus. If it appears safe to do so, keep your students on the bus unless you need to evacuate for safety reasons. Implement an evacuation or a code yellow lockdown and follow those procedures. Reassure students. Remain calm and in control. Account for and supervise students. Do not release the students. Follow student accountability and release procedures. Put out warning triangles. This is especially important if you are on a blind corner. If you are the only adult on the bus, you may decide to wait to do this until assistance arrives to avoid leaving students unsupervised. Prepare to follow transfer procedures if necessary. If there is smoke or if any portion of the bus is on fire, if the presence of gasoline or other combustible materials create a danger of fire, or if the bus is near an existing fire and you are unable to move the bus away, take immediate action. Smoke and fire can spread quickly. Pull over, stop the bus, and evacuate immediately. Stop the bus in a safe location. Secure the bus. Shut off the motor, set the brake, and remove the keys. Activate four-way flashers if required. Call bus dispatch or 911. Evacuate the bus. Follow evacuation procedures. If the engine is on fire, do not open the hood. If you are trained to use a fire extinguisher and discover a small fire, you may attempt to extinguish it. However, remember that your primary responsibility during a fire is to evacuate your passengers safely. All wheelchair buses are equipped with fire blankets. There is one blanket for the driver, one blanket for the bus attendant, and one for each wheelchair station. Evacuating people in wheelchairs can be a time-consuming process. Use the fire blankets if necessary to provide a degree of protection while working to evacuate those in wheelchairs. If someone's clothing is on fire, instruct them to stop, drop, and roll. Do not allow them to run. Running will fan the fire. Smother the fire by wrapping the person in heavy fabric, like a coat or a blanket, and rolling the person on the ground or floor. If fabric is not available, roll the person on the ground or floor unwrapped. Deluge with water if water is available. Call bus dispatch or 911. Evacuate the bus. Follow evacuation procedures. Report all fires to bus dispatch. Bus dispatch will report all fires to the fire department regardless of the size or location of the fire, even if it happened during non-school hours or if the fire was out when it was discovered. Now let's talk about a variety of weather hazards. There are many types of weather-related hazards you may encounter while driving your bus, such as high winds, torrential rainfall or hail, street flooding, snow or ice, and even the possibility of a tornado. When faced with these hazards, your visibility, bus stability, and traction may be impaired, limiting your ability to drive safely. Assess your situation and consider reducing your speed, stopping in a safe location, modifying your route, and/or using alternate bus stops for children. Contact bus dispatch if you need assistance or to inform them of unusually hazardous conditions. The following slides include various considerations and potential actions for specific hazards such as high winds or torrential rain, water on the road or flooding, snow or icy conditions, and tornadoes. If severe weather such as dangerous winds, torrential rainfall, or hail occurs and it is not safe to continue your route, park the bus in an area away from potential falling objects and remain there until the storm subsides. Consider a large parking lot. Keep the students on the bus in their seats. If additional protective actions are indicated, direct students to crouch down with their chest on their thighs. Body parts should be below window height. If you come upon water on the road or flooding, assess the situation. In some circumstances, it may be safe to drive slowly through a small amount of standing water from our normal rainfall accumulations on the road. However, do not drive through water on the road if the water is moving or has a current, or if there is debris in the water, or if you cannot see how deep it is, or if there is a dip in the road which could create a deeper section of water, or if a portion of the road or shoulder has washed away, or in any other condition in which you deem it is unsafe. If snow or icy conditions occur while en route, decrease your speed and leave plenty of room to stop. You should allow at least 3 times more space than usual between you and the car in front of you. Use low gears to keep traction, especially on hills. Brake gently to avoid skidding. If your wheels start to lock up, ease off the brake. Be especially careful on bridges, overpasses, and infrequently traveled roads, which will freeze first. Even at temperatures above freezing, if the conditions are wet, you might encounter ice in shady areas or on exposed roadways like bridges. If it is not safe to continue, stop the bus in a safe location and contact bus dispatch for guidance. If you see a tornado while en route and the bus is in the path of the tornado, unload all students and proceed away from the school bus. Keep students in a group and find the lowest area, such as a ditch if possible. Instruct students to get down on their knees, lie face down, and cover their head with their hands. In our stormy coastal environment, downed power lines are inevitable. If you discover a downed power line on the road, discover a low-hanging line, or if the bus comes in contact with a power line, assume it is energized and dangerous. Do not touch it or attempt to move the power line. If a power line is down on the road, or you discover a low-hanging line, follow these procedures. Identify a safe place to stop as far away as possible from the downed power line, at least 50 feet away. Stay clear. Call bus dispatch or 911. Keep everyone inside the bus. The rubber tires make this the safest place. The ground around the bus may be energized. Do not drive over a fallen power line or under a low-hanging line. Do not touch a power line. Do not touch anything or anyone in contact with a fallen power line. Contact bus dispatch about a plan for an alternate route and to notify other bus drivers. If your bus actually comes in contact with a low or downed power line, follow these procedures. Stop the bus, secure the bus, shut off the motor, set the brake, and remove the keys. Call bus dispatch or 911. Keep everyone inside the bus. This is the safest place. The ground around the bus may be energized. Work to reassure students. Remain calm and in control. Account for all students. First responders will tell you when it is safe to get out of the bus or to move the bus. If you have to evacuate the bus, tell students exactly where you want them to gather once evacuated and teach them this procedure. Have students keep their hands at their sides and jump clear of the bus so they are not touching the bus when their feet hit the ground. Keep both feet close together and shuffle away from the bus without picking up your feet. Do not run away from the bus. While on the ground, do not touch the bus or assist other students that are still on the bus. Supervise your students at the agreed-upon assembly area. Follow student accountability and release procedures. Now let's talk about earthquakes and tsunamis. Experiencing an earthquake while in a moving vehicle sometimes feels like you're having mechanical troubles or driving on 4 flat tires. Use your senses. Look around. You may feel the earth jolting and shaking and may begin to see things falling, cracks opening, mudslides, or rock slides. If an earthquake occurs while you are driving, determine where to stop. Know ahead of time when your route takes you through the tsunami zone. Learn the pre-designated tsunami routes and identify high ground staging places throughout your route. If you feel the ground shake, decrease your speed and pull to the side of the road as quickly as possible. If feasible, try to stop out of the tsunami zone and try to avoid stopping on or under overpasses or bridges, near signs, power lines, trees, buildings, or any other hazard that might fall onto your bus. Secure the bus. Shut off the motor, set the brake, and remove the keys. Activate 4-way flashers if required. Keep everyone on the bus and take cover. Instruct everyone to drop, cover, and hold on as best they can, crouching down in their seats and turning away from windows until the shaking stops. If you are in a tsunami zone, after the shaking stops, immediately move to the nearest high ground, by bus if possible, or by foot if the road is not passable. You may have only 10 to 15 minutes to get to high ground, so take immediate action. Stay on high ground. Powerful tsunami waves and surges can come and go for up to 24 hours. If you are not in a tsunami zone, stay put. Keep students on the bus if it is safe. You may have to shelter there for an extended period of time. Conserve fuel as you may need this to provide warmth and for radio contact. Communications are often challenging during large earthquakes. Attempt to contact bus dispatch. If you are not able to reach bus dispatch, refer to the emergency phone list in your bus packet and try those phone numbers to relay information. Prepare students for aftershocks. Drop, cover, and hold on during an aftershock, even if you are outside. Stay away from poles, trees, power lines, etc. A large Cascadia subduction zone earthquake and tsunami may make roads impassable for quite some time. In this type of situation, the possibility exists that your responsibility for students could develop into a multiple-day event. Your mental and emotional preparation is critical in increasing your success. Due to the uniqueness of this type of disaster, you must be prepared to make independent decisions regarding the release of your students. In this type of situation, it is very important that you keep good records of who goes where, with whom, and when. You might be glad to know that all Lincoln County School District schools are located on high ground outside the tsunami hazard zone. Disaster survival supplies are kept at or near Walport High School, Toledo Elementary School, Taft High School, Ocean Lake Elementary School, Newport Middle School, and at Oregon Coast Community College in South Beach. Now let's talk about crashes or accidents. If you are involved in a crash, your main priority is the safety and well-being of your passengers. Assess your situation. Determine your location, the condition of your bus, if there are any injuries, if there is a danger of fire, downed power lines, or of another collision, etc. Decide to evacuate or keep students on the bus. If it appears safe to do so, try to keep your passengers on the bus. However, evacuate immediately if you are stuck on a railroad crossing, if there is smoke, or if any portion of the bus is on fire, if there is a presence of gasoline or other combustible materials, or if the bus is near an existing fire and you are unable to move the bus away. If you are in a crash or accident, follow these procedures. Stop immediately. Do not move the bus unless you are directed by emergency officials, or if the bus is in a dangerous position, or if it is in a very minor single vehicle crash, or if there is minimal to no damage to the bus. Call bus dispatch or 911. Secure the bus. Shut off the motor, set the brake, and remove the keys. Activate four-way flashers if required. Stay calm and remember to breathe. Implement an evacuation or a code yellow lockdown and follow procedures. Evaluate first aid needs and follow medical emergency procedures if needed. Reassure your students. Remain calm and in control. Account for and supervise students. Do not release students. Follow student accountability and release procedures. Put out warning triangles when time permits. If you are the only adult with your students, you may decide to wait to do this until assistance arrives to avoid leaving students unsupervised. Cooperate with emergency personnel. They will take over the scene, but you are still responsible to supervise students. Prepare to follow transfer procedures if necessary. Protect the scene and evidence. Attempt to protect evidence if you can do so without leaving students unsupervised. Try to identify the other vehicle, including the license plate. Identify and observe the driver in the event he or she tries to leave the scene. Get contact information of witnesses at the scene. Distribute the information cards provided in your emergency packet. And don't admit fault. Don't say, "I'm sorry," or be argumentative. Use the camera to take pictures of the crash scene from all angles, including the license plate of the other vehicles involved. But do not take pictures of students or injuries. Use a seating chart to track student injuries, asking each student if they are hurt. Mark N for no and Y for yes. If yes, note where it hurts. If you must move the bus, mark the location of the tires with the chalk in the crash packet. Do not discuss the accident with anyone other than the police, bus company management, a school district official, or our insurance representative. If approached by the media, say, "A company spokesperson will be commenting on the situation at a later time," and follow media procedures. Complete a crash report form. Make notes. Record everything you can remember about the accident. After any bus crash or accident, the driver must immediately follow procedures for drug testing. And after returning to the bus barn, Work with your supervisor to complete all necessary paperwork. Now let's talk about animals. If you hit a farm or domestic animal, such as a cow, horse, sheep, or a dog or cat, stop immediately. Secure the bus, shut off the motor, set the brake, and remove the keys. Activate four-way flashers if required. Call bus dispatch or 911. Remember the emotional well-being of your students when dealing with an injured animal. Do not move the animal if it is alive. Attempt to protect the animal from other traffic. If the animal is dead, try to get help to remove it from the road. And attempt to notify the owner. If the owner cannot be reached, leave your name and bus company phone number with the neighbor or local police department. As with all emergencies, remember to take extra precaution to protect yourself and your passengers. Err on the side of caution. Safety is always a priority. And that will wrap up this Part 2 training on the second section of our school bus emergency plan, which covers protocols for a variety of hazards that a school bus driver may be faced with, such as mechanical trouble, fire, weather hazards, power lines, earthquake and tsunami, and crash or accidents and animals. If you have any questions about these procedures, please contact your bus manager for clarification. Thank you.